Yes, my dear friend, welcome back to the channel. Very good afternoon to you wherever you are around the globe, on the continent of Africa, in Europe, in America, in Canada, Australia, or right here in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to you and welcome to the channel. This is Salon's blog. Well, we are starting on Chelsea. Yes, tomorrow is Chelsea Aston Villa. And I would like to let you understand something here. A win tomorrow for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge will set the pace for our title challenge. Yes, it will set the pace for our title challenge, even though we don't want to admit it that we are in for the title. Our head coach don't want to admit the fact that Chelsea are in for the title. It is evidently clear that we are in the top four. But when it comes to the title, Chelsea do not want to admit that currently. And I understand, I know why. Because we don't want to mount pressure on our players. It's okay. It's okay. You see, I also want to point out that going forward, this December, from tomorrow, 1st December, after our game, our next game is on Wednesday against Southampton. Our next game is on Wednesday against Southampton. And guess what? We have a lot of games coming up in December. Look, we are playing on Sunday and then we are facing Southampton on Wednesday. How many days? 2 days interval. Remember, yesterday, Southampton, they played their game. They played their match on Friday. And Chelsea are playing on Sunday. Then on Wednesday, we are facing them again. On Wednesday. This is not something that is normal. We have only 2 days after our Sunday game. They have 4 or 5 days. Southampton have 4 or 5 days. This is not normal. If there is any plan from the Premier League to sabotage Chelsea's effort this season, listen, they will have to watch it out. We can't play game on Sunday and play Southampton on Wednesday. Southampton, they played their game yesterday, Friday. They have 5 good days of rest and preparation. This is not normal. Anyway, we will try to prepare in the best way, according to our head coach, Enzo Maresca. He says that we will try to prepare in the best way. But it's not normal. It is not normal. Tomorrow, our game against Aston Villa is not going to be an easy game. And that is why I'm surprised that we will play them on Sunday and they will not be facing Southampton on Wednesday. It's not going to be easy. Listen, you see, all the games Chelsea played so far this season in Premier League, at home, they were difficult games. Do you realize that we have not scored? Chelsea have not, or we are yet to score in the opening 15 minutes of every of our games at Stamford Bridge this season. Chelsea are yet to score in the opening first 15 minutes at home this season. And in the last 15 minutes means that all the goals that Chelsea scored at Stamford Bridge this season, we scored those goals after the first 15 minutes and before the last 15 minutes of the games. That means that we scored our goals from 16th, 17th minute going, and then from 17th minute, Chelsea did not score any goals at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have yet to score in the opening or closing 15 minutes of any Premier League game at home this season. So that tells you, if Chelsea play at home, all the games so far at home weren't easy. Away from home, we scored goals before Jackson scored goals within the first 3 minutes or so. Yeah. Then 90th minute, we scored goals outside. But at Stamford Bridge, we never did same. I'm trying to get you statistics. Yes, yes. But the good thing is, I am hoping that our players, they'll go into the game against Aston Villa with the same form. Someone like Jackson. I was happy to hear our head coach, Maresca, speaking about Nicolas Jackson yesterday at the press conference. And he clearly pointed out his joy, the entire squad, the technical team, their joy, their happiness with the performance of Nicolas Jackson as our goal scorer. This is what he said. He said, Jackson, he is already good. He is already good. He is already good enough for us. Like all the players, there are many things that he can do better. Sometimes this season, it happened that he had 1v1 chances that he missed. That can happen. He can improve that area. He can be a bit more brave on the ball when we need him to link play. Overall, there are areas he's already improving a lot. This statement coming from our gaffer at the press conference. Dear friend, just a moment. I can see clearly from the way the coach speaks about Jackson that he really liked the work rate of Jackson. He really appreciates the job Jackson has done so far. The improvement, his work rate, the goals he's scoring. Enzo Maresca has absolutely nothing on zero problem with Nicolas Jackson in this squad. We've been talking about getting in new strikers, prolific strikers, more experienced strikers or whatever, box dominant strikers. Enzo Maresca's mind right now is not on a striker. He is just okay with Nicolas Jackson right now. We will have to start thinking about a backup striker instead. Yeah. Because I personally also, I'll tell you what, Jackson can only get better. I know you guys will come after me. You say, oh, there's no news, there's no episode that I will not talk about Jackson. Yes, even our head coach will not stop talking about him. Every minute, every opportunity, Enzo Maresca speaks about Jackson. Of course, he is the one that delivers the goals. Isn't it? Now, talking about the strikers, there was this player that during the summer, or early part of the season, during the summer transfer window, most of us, we kept talking about. He's a Premier League player. We spoke about him saying that, oh, he has done greatly with Villa last time. And so therefore, this season, in fact, we tag him super sub. Well, each time he comes in, he scores goals for Aston Villa. John Duran with Aston Villa. Do you realize that Duran's goal scoring form has dropped? When was the last time you heard about John Duran in the Premier League? Tell me, when was the last time? Even on this channel, we don't talk about him anymore because his name is no longer anywhere. We don't hear about him. John Duran's goal scoring form has dropped significantly since signing the contract extension in October. Since he signed the contract extension in October, his goal scoring has dropped since then. 6 goals in 10 games before the extension of his contract. He scored 6 goals in 10 games before he extended his contract. After the extension of his contract, he only scored 2 goals in 9 games. 2 goals in 9 games after the extension of his contract. Well, I'm just trying to point out to you guys the obvious. It means nothing though for me. But that early season form is hard to sustain. Early season form is hard to sustain. That is why you need to begin to appreciate Jackson. If he's able to maintain the early season form till now, you have to appreciate him for the great work he's doing. You see John Duran. 2 goals in 9 games. It is what it is. Dear friends, I'll soon be running up with your lunch hour, hot afternoon. Mikhailo Mudryk in a conference league so far this season. Actually, you see, Mudryk has improved a lot in many aspects of his game. He's one of my best players, one of my players that I like most in Chelsea. Really, I really like him. I don't know why. Even though I don't talk so much about him because I believe that it's taking too long a time to improve. But we are all seeing it right now. Mudryk and his goal scoring prowess cutting in, and he's one of the players that Enzo Maresca really spent so much time on to get him to where he is currently. And he can be better. If Mudryk, the talent in this guy, if we can really get him firing, this guy is a Ballon d'Or product. 3 goals and 3 assists. Fair play. 3 goals, 3 assists for a winger. Fair play. 12 games so far in the Premier League. It's not too late yet. Most of his goals, his goals are in the Conference League. But with the current form, I want to see Jackson in tomorrow's lineup. I want to see Jackson, and I want to see who again? Christopher Nkunku. And I would like to see who Cole Palmer dropped to the bench. Oh yeah, this is an unpopular opinion. Let me hear from you in the comment section. Cole Palmer is definitely the first name on our Chelsea team sheet every week. He is. But the oppositions have given him some special treatment of late. Our opposition teams, they've given him some special treatment of late. I think he deserves some rest. Maybe coming from the bench. And in that case, I'll opt for Christopher Nkunku in that number 10 role. Let's see what he can do. I'll opt for that because Aston Villa by now, they would have mapped up plan on how to deal with Cole Palmer. They will definitely. So for me personally, it is time we drop him at the bench, give him some rest, let Christopher Nkunku, that number 10 rule. Let's see what will happen against Villa. Before I let you go, and before I forget, I spoke earlier on about Jackson, right? Did you know that Nicolas Jackson was set to join Bournemouth from Villarreal for 20.8 million before Chelsea went in for him? Oh yes, he was set to join Bournemouth. My Jackson was set to join Bournemouth for 20.8 million in last season summer, 2023 summer. Even flying to the south coast of England to finalize the transfer. Yes, he did. But they were concerned about a hamstring injury. I never know Jackson if he have a hamstring problem. Bournemouth was concerned about a hamstring injury issue, fearing a lengthy layoff. Bournemouth have since accepted they made a mistake. Oh yes, they've since accepted they made a mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, now he's with Chelsea. And we've never heard Jackson of any hamstring problem. Minor injury, a knock. Yes, at least once I've heard a knock. And apart from that, nothing else. So it means that Bournemouth, Chelsea will be paying hundreds of millions of pounds for Jackson from Bournemouth if they had signed him and he was scoring goals for them like we always do. Just as we went for Brighton. 115 million pounds. Casado. God save the Queen. God save Chelsea. Isn't it? I'm about to run out. But quickly. Manchester City, Liverpool. Manchester City, Liverpool. The biggest game of the weekend. biggest game of the weekend. And I was going through the records to see what actually made Liverpool, you know, they are topping the league table right now, right? Okay. I tried to compare the games they played so far with teams like Chelsea and Arsenal. What made them look so brilliant this season by far? Dear friend, let me point out to you. Liverpool played most of their games this season. The big teams they faced so far this season were all in their home. Whilst teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, we faced big teams away from home. For instance, Arsenal faced Man City away, Chelsea away, Tottenham away, Aston Villa away, Newcastle away. Arsenal have been to almost every single stadium where the big teams are. Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Newcastle. Liverpool have been to 0 of these teams. Liverpool is yet to face these big teams away. Liverpool is yet to visit Chelsea at home. Liverpool is now visiting Man City at home. Tottenham. So it's like Liverpool had the advantage of home games against the bigger teams. It's going to be really interesting to see if Liverpool can withstand the other big teams away. The pressure will be immense. The league has just started. We are now going to the 13th game of the season, dear friends. Yes, we wait to see. I said this so that nobody will conclude that Liverpool has already taken the league. No. They faced the top 5 teams, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Newcastle. They faced all of them in their home. They are yet to travel away for these games. We wait to see what happens from tomorrow, dear friends. On that note, it is hot afternoon to you guys all. Big shout out to you all out there, my good friends. Hey, as anyone knows the whereabouts of Elisha Bassi, it's been a while. Big shout out to you guys all. I'll see you all in the next one when you see me. Shalom and peace.